Good morning. I have to explain, well, first of all, I'm Elizabeth Stewart. I will be your worship associate for today. I have been called into duty because poor Anna Dial has a cold, and thank you, Anna, for not coming and spreading the joy among us of your cold. Hope you're feeling better. So a little bit of my progress over the years. When I started being a worship associate probably about 10 years ago now, I would print everything up on paper like size 18 font and have about 10 pages, that I was flipping the whole time I was up here. And then we had some transitions, of course, with COVID, so that was a whole other deal. But I would always have it written somehow. I went to quarter-page pieces of lavender paper, and somehow that was working for me for a period of time. And then I finally graduated to actually using my laptop up here, which I found to be a little cumbersome. So my laptop is sitting right there just in case. But I'm going to try and do it on my phone today, so wish me luck. All right, Anna did all the heavy work. Anna did all the writing. I'm just reading, except I'm not going to read Anna's description because that wouldn't fit. So, welcome, everyone, to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville, Florida. My pronouns are she and her. I am a 74-year-old cis white woman with silver hair. I don't know how I did that. I didn't do it. It just did it all by itself, and I'm quite happy with it, so I don't complain. Today I am wearing a kind of a batik print skirt and scarf and a kind of rust shirt and black sandals. So I would like to extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning. If you're here in the sanctuary with us, please know that the restrooms are straight out the doors you came in and to the left. There are exit doors inside the sanctuary, just for our comfort. And in case your togetherness needs a little separation of some kind, we do have a window room in the back, and you can hear the service and see the service without having to be right in here with us. A very special welcome to everyone who might be joining us from the worlds afar via our technology. And thank you to our techno staff over here, Ryan and Aaron. Thank you so much. Give them a round. Give them a hand. Thank you so much. A special welcome to our friends, our sibling church in Valdosta, Georgia. I have to say, you guys, it was great to see some of you on the video of Samara's ordination, which I watched twice. It was so good. So I got to see friends from Valdosta, and that was pretty special, too. We gather here today, and we honor the Timucua, Seminole, and other Native people who have lived on this land and cared for it long before we came along. And we know we have a beautiful, beautiful property to enjoy here. After the service this morning, we invite you to join us for coffee hour in the Phillips Social Hall right next door. Refreshments will be served along with coffee, and we invite visitors to stop by our welcome table. It's a table with a green tablecloth just inside the door, and chat there with a member of the welcome team and browse our literature, ask questions, and get to know us. Today we continue our exploration of this month's service theme from Touchstones, Care of the Soul. Anna says it's an apt theme for October, don't you think? And next week, souls and ghouls and goblins of all sizes will be welcomed in the sanctuary. So come and enjoy. Our sermon today is coming to us from a Unitarian Universalist Sermon of the Month recorded video series. And we subscribe to it, and we're trying it out today. Today's sermon will be by Reverend Sunshine J. Wolf and is titled Transformative Joy. So now, let's take a few deep breaths, settle in, and realize you are right where you are supposed to be right now. And let the world turn without us for an hour. This morning, kindling our chalice flame, we have Katie Grace reading the words, and we have Elizabeth, I forget which name we're using these days, Elizabeth Ferris, who is actually going to light the chalice. And Katie, I forgot to ask, it's a rather long piece. Would you like Elizabeth to come up as you finish to light the chalice? I think that would be better. It's kind of long. You'd be standing here a long time. Do you want to stand?
Good morning. Oh. Okay. This is my first time, you guys. Have patience with me. My name's Katie Grace. I have been a member of this church for a long time. I am a 40-year-old white cis woman with long, dark brown hair and a little bit of silver in it. I'm wearing a black dress and lots of accessories. The reading today is by Reverend Maureen Caloran. It's called We Come Together Without Creed. In this free church, we come together without creed, focusing instead on the core values of justice, equity, and compassion, of mutual acceptance of our diverse ways of being as we seek to connect ourselves more fully with the unfolding truths of life and of our world. We come together in shared conviction that all people deserve a voice in matters that concern them, and that is up to each of us to protect the rights of all, particularly those who, for whatever reason, have long been held in silence. We come together in the stubborn belief that community is possible and that peace is more than a dream. We commit together to affirm in our actions as well as our words the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. We come together in awareness of our interdependence with all humanity and with the wider web of existence, for that too is part of what is meant by we. In this free church, we come together without creed, believing that the way we live in the world bears testament to the value of our beliefs. We light this chalice as a beacon of hope for those who have gathered here this day. For all who have ever walked through our doors, for those who may yet find this spiritual home, and for those whose paths will never come our way. For all this, and for all of those things we dare to hope and dream, we can kindle our chalice flame this day.
She got the hard part right. Thank you, Elizabeth. Our opening words today come from Elizabeth Mount. Co-regulation. From our very first breath, we reach out. Co-regulation, not self-regulation, is in our nature. We find our cues from the sun and the moon, from each parent and caregiver. We find our place in this great turning planet by turning to one another, generation to generation. We awaken to the dawn and fall asleep at the evening's end. Our life's journey is part of something greater, something simple, something divine. A flame cannot be lit without a spark. A life cannot begin without the air. And if we cannot begin to find ourselves without love, may we reach out to one another. May we offer love and nurturing care. May we join together in celebration of the interdependence of our lives. In this spirit, let us worship together. I now invite you to join in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, hymn number 146 in the gray hymnal, Soon the Day Will Arrive, number 146. Thank you, choir. Each week, we invite you to share what might be in your heart or heavy on your mind in our book of joys and concerns. Some of you may have noticed that we've flipped the order a little bit in the service because we discovered that our young folks over here are interested in participating in this part of the service. They want to be included with our hearts and our minds and our feelings. Oh, and we're getting some applause over here. I don't see anything written by any of the little ones today. No, not today, but maybe next time. Our first joy every week is our visitors that are actually here with us in the sanctuary. And my secret little message here for today says we have Frederica, welcome, and also Chris. And there's Chris. Welcome to you. We hope you'll decide to join us in the social hall after our service and have some goodies and get to know us a little better. Welcome. First, we have a message from Barbara Palmer, and you might notice her sidekick is here, and he looks a little lonely, but this is why. Barbara says, first I want to thank my wonderful husband, Tom, for insisting that I go to the ER on Wednesday afternoon, as my condition, which included incapacitating muscle pain and general malaise, was not getting any better. Second, I thank Tom and my daughter Jennifer for staying with me through 7 long hours of waiting, testing, and treating. Finally, I thank Elizabeth Stewart, Alan Cecil, and the Women's Book Circle for checking in to see if they could help. I'm still not pain-free, but am on antibiotics for a severe bladder infection that was bordering on sepsis, and hope that by next Sunday I'll see you all again. And we hope so too. Barbara, if you're watching. This is a joy from Harry Mangle. He says, my joy. Yesterday I was with at least 11 UUFGers at the Cora Roberson Pro-Democracy Rally. We joined approximately 2,000 people of all ages pushing back against authoritarianism. I look forward to conversations about even more powerful, direct actions we can take. A joy from David Wilkham. He says, it was great to perform with my band at the Newberry Plant Expo yesterday. Also enjoyed visiting with fellow UUs there, Noelle Silk and Susan Stannard. This one I think must be from Susan. It says, it was wonderful to have 13 lovely people play ukuleles Thursday evening at our Yucatarian gathering. Join us, all are welcome. Jonathan Carone says, it was wonderful to see lots of UUs at the No Kings event downtown. And Deborah Neal Marisi, where is she? Jump up and down, Deborah. Deborah's back there. And she says, if you need a new portrait for the directory, grab me after the service. So don't grab me, grab Deborah. And this joy, which brought a smile to me, Lisa Catherine Alcala, am I saying it properly? And Francis William Koza, married on June 14th in Sudbury, Massachusetts. Lisa's daughters, Lily and Phoebe Gordon, sang during the celebration. Nice. Lisa was a member for a good long time, and she has obviously moved away and started a different chapter in her life, so that's great. So many of you probably hold other joys and concerns in your hearts that you're not willing or able to share out loud, but we do have our bowl, our communal bowl, and there are stones of varying sizes and shapes and textures and whatever suits your mood. If you'd like to drop stones, because it's our belief that a joy shared can be multiplied and a sorrow shared can be divided and eased. So as Tanae shares some lovely music with us, please come forward, drop a stone, think of the water in the bowl as what will provide comfort surrounding you. And from our care team, we have Kay Anderson, who will preside over the bowl, and at the end, excuse me, Kay will hold up 2 stones, a joy and a sorrow for the people who are not able to be here, to signify that they are included as well. And in a minute, Kay is going to be doing our moment of, for all ages. But I just wanted to mention to you that we now have, just behind Jonathan, just as you're going into the Phillips Center, we have the Care Team Corner now. And in the Care Team Corner, you will find these small cards. If you wish some assistance from the care team, or perhaps you know someone you would like to refer for some assistance, there are envelopes if you wish it to be private. But it gives you information as to how to contact someone on the care team. And the envelope can then be put in, there's a white box that's a wooden box right on the wall that has a slot in it. And you can put those in there and they will find their way to the care team. Okay?
You guys ready for a story? Because I need your help today. Okay? Want to come up here and sit with me? Yeah? Does anybody know about sign language? You know some sign language? All right, I'm going to teach you a letter. Have a seat. Let me teach you a letter, okay? Is it cutting out again a little bit? It's on the thing here and see if. About now. Is it going to help now, maybe? Direct line to the booth? Yeah? Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, so this is how you do two, right? Fingers crossed. What letter do you guess this might be in sign language? You know, what is it? R. So every time I do R, yeah, you have to tuck your fingers in like that. You can tell me about it later, okay? I'm doing a thing. So every time I do this, you're going to say an R word that's a really big word. Ridiculous. You can help too. Ridiculous. All right? The story is a little long, so hang in. Pete and Pickles by Berkeley Breathed. Breathed. I always, it's not. It is big. How did you know? If only I had a because it's still going in and out. Not too bad? Good enough. Okay. Pete was a perfectly predictable pig. He was also a perfectly practical pig and a perfectly uncomplicated pig. And being all these things, Pete might have run for the hills if he had known what was coming that night. Things coming. The storm arrived first. Pete cut the evening's fun off early and went to bed to get the nightmare out of the way. The same terrifying, watery nightmare all pigs dream during stormy nights. I didn't know pigs even dreamed. For pigs are known for doing only one thing well in water. They do one thing well.
Oh, just looking at the screen.
Drowning. Yeah, drowning. Drowning in the water. And that is exactly what Pete dreamt he was doing when a sudden sound woke him. The window was open. Pete pulled the lamp switch. Nothing happened. He had an odd feeling, pigs are very smart in this way, that something was a little wrong. You see it? Pete was suddenly grabbed, hugged, really, by a wet nose, at the other end of which was a wet elephant. The beast whispered, "Shh." She said nothing else, but her eyes spoke clearly. "Help me." Then a knock at the door. A clown asked Pete if he'd seen any sign of an escaped elephant named Pickles. "There, under the couch. Look carefully," Pete said, because you might miss it, right? As the circus man led the sad, slumping elephant away, Pete was startled when she looked back at him and smiled. The next morning, Pete was disinfecting his house when he noticed his midnight visitor had left behind a gift, dandelions. Ridiculous, thought Pete as he scrubbed. Good job, Rowan. That afternoon, Pete took his usual short stroll. He looked down at the evening mist rolling in and saw a circus tent. He looked at the dandelion. Ridiculous, he muttered. Today, however, Pete would take a longer walk. Good job. He soon found himself amidst the circus tents, watching a long nose plucking every dandelion within reach. Pete knew that nose, and it knew him. It plucked Pete's hat and disappeared. Seconds before Pete called the police, his hat was pushed back out, improved. Pete looked in to see Pickles sitting in a very dark corner of a very dark tent, wearing a very locked chain. Pete suddenly, unexplainably, found himself reaching for the key. Now free and outside, Pickles dove to hide while a panicked Pete whispered, "Tea was on my schedule today, not elephants." Being a practical pig, however, he knew they needed a disguise. Something, anything. Pete thought fast. It worked. Almost too well. Yeah, for the hair. A policeman suggested dinner. He was tricked. They reached Pete's house by nightfall. A weary Pickles retired after making herself comfortable in a pair of Pete's favorite pajamas. Understand this, you have not heard snoring until you have had an elephant nap on your couch. Pete was a perfectly unpleased pig. Tomorrow, he thought, the big girl leaves. Pete awoke the next day to find Pickles doing a little morning Tai Chi, as if she were in China, which she certainly was not. On the other hand, Pete noted that his house guest had made a few changes to the grounds. This time, Pete did not say, "Ridiculous." Later that morning, Pete experienced the goosebumpily joy of a back scrubbing with his newspaper and coffee. He also discovered the limits of his bathtub. Pickles showed Pete a magazine article about high diving. She pointed to both of them. "Ridiculous," Pete said. "Pigs and elephants sink like Brits." Pickles smiled. After lunch, they would swan dive off Niagara Falls. And they did, sort of. It's not really Niagara Falls, is it? No. On Tuesday, they sledded down the Matterhorn in Switzerland, sort of. Pete was learning that Pickles had lots of plans. On Sunday, they went to Tahiti for brunch. Pickles, as always, shared her tropical refreshment with the natives. After Paris, it was on to the ladies. Oops, there we are. Pete did not know any romantic Italian songs, which did not stop him from singing them. Pickles sniffed a fragrant Venetian lily and shared it with Pete in a manner nicely suited for elephants and pigs. Does that look good? It was when Pete returned home one evening and found ballet tryouts in Moscow, soaring paracows over Tuscany painters on his roof, that his thoughts turned to his earlier life, a less complicated life, thought Pete. Soon after, Pete discovered Pickles getting into things she shouldn't have been in. He snapped. "I am a predictable, practical, uncomplicated pig. Or I was before," he yelled. As a shocked Pickles fell back into the bathtub, the last words she remembered hearing were the worst. "You probably left." Oh. Something broke. A pipe gushed water in a spewing torrent. The house filled with a panicky Pete screamed, "Pickles! The mop! Buckets! Sponges! Never mind, head up for higher ground." Pete worried that the high ground would run out, and as a matter of fact, it did. And when all the snouts and all the snoots in the now flooded house were fully stretched to their furthest reach, only one had found the refuge of sweet air. Oh, Pete clung tightly to the last open window. He looked back down into the face of one far too heavy to join him and noticed once again, as always, a smile. At that terrible moment, what occurred to Pete was not how his life had become so unpredictable, so unpractical, and so completely complicated with pickles. No, what occurred to Pete was his life without her. That endless night would be the longest of all their great journeys. And when the fireman finally climbed to the window the next morning, he could not believe what he found. He found a very small pig breathing for a very large elephant all night, every hour, every minute, every breath, shared. When they finally emptied the house, the fireman looked down in puzzlement at the exhausted pair of sleeping friends. They tried but could not pull Pete from the mighty grasp of pickles. The two slept all day, through the night, and on until the morning. When they awoke to pick blueberries on the dandelion moons of Pluto, Pete sang Italian love songs. The end, or the beginning. Thank you. And let's sing our kids out. Thank you.
Interesting. The reading today is called We Hold Hope Close by Julian Jamaica Soto. In this community, we hold hope close. We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath the foundation of our values and ethics. We are the people who return to love like a north star and to truth that we are greater together than we are alone. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. Rather, we know the way of the world of which we dream. And by covenant and the movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will arrive at home. And now we have a treat, a musical performance, Hallelujah by Mammoose. Is that how you'd say it properly? Bev Sanders and Irma Alvarez.
I will lay my troubles down by the water.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. Each year, our congregation chooses 10 organizations to share the plate with during our church year. This month, we have chosen Bread of the Mighty Food Bank. Bread of the Mighty is a private, nonprofit organization celebrating 37 years of serving the community. They collect, sort, store, and distribute donated food and basic essentials to 175 food pantries and feeding programs. For every $1 donated, Bread of the Mighty can provide up to 6 meals. Here to speak briefly with us today about Bread of the Mighty is Philip Gyrey. So Philip, come on up. He won't need this.
Thank you for having me, but do not thank you for letting me follow that beautiful song. I don't have that kind of voice, so you're going to go from that to this, and that's going to be kind of torture on your ears, but we'll deal with it. Thank you for having me. My name is Philip. I'm with the Bread of the Mighty Food Bank. I'm technically the volunteer engagement manager, so if anyone here is interested in volunteering at the food bank, come see me. I will be in the hall there after the service. I just want to give you a brief note of what we do, how we do it, and why we do it, and then invite you guys to talk to me later. We are the food bank for Alachua, Union, Levy, and Gilchrist County. We provide 6.5 million pounds of food a year to those 4 counties. That's about 25,000 pounds of food a day that moves through our warehouse into the community. We have the easy part. We just collect, store, sort food, and give it to our agencies, who then pass out that food. We are using our food not as a way to stop hunger, but as to end it. If you are hungry, if you come to one of our food distributions or you go to one of our pantries or one of our agencies, there's an underlying issue of why you're there. No one is there because they bought a new PlayStation or a new pair of shoes. There's a systematic failure somewhere that's put them in position to need food. The agencies we work with will help them figure out what that problem is, put a hole in the bottom of the boat so it stops sinking. So it could be unexpected medical bills, it could be sudden job loss, or mental health issues, medical health issues, drug issues, transportation issues, car issues. There's 1,004 reasons. And those agencies will help figure that part out and then help solve that problem while giving food. We have free food. People will show up anywhere for free food. I will show up to any of your houses to move a couch. I will give you a ride to the airport. If there's a free pizza, I'm there. If it's a 5-star pizza, I'm not even a fancy person. You can just get me a cheese 5-star. I will move your entire house. Free food is the way to get anyone to do anything. So we have free food. We are using it as a catalyst to build a better community. And that's in Alachua, Union, Levy, so it's a large area. Most of you folks probably live here. We deal with a lot of students who are from South Florida and Orlando mostly. You can tell because the driving in Gainesville has gotten a lot worse, and I blame the people from South Florida for that. But Gainesville is a bustling metropolis of North Central Florida. We are the big city that the folks are moving to. A lot of our rural communities don't have the access to services or resources that we do. Our agencies will help connect those people. We are here to connect people, and we use that food as a way to get people to show up. You show up for free food, and then oops, maybe we solved your problem along the way, which is important. And we do that by not working with just agencies but other nonprofits. We are affiliated with almost every nonprofit in town, Grace Marketplace, Ronald McDonald House, Peaceful Paths, many churches, libraries, civic groups, the CMC. If there are people there willing to give out free food, we're there to provide that free food for them. And we do that through 2 things. Money, which is, I don't want to get thrown out of the temple here, but money is important, and then time. Every $1 you donate to us, we can provide 6 meals. If you go to the grocery store with $1, you may get a piece of gum or half an apple at this point. But for Bread of the Mighty, using our partnerships with the big box stores and the grocery stores and Dollar Generals and whatnot, we can provide 6 meals. So there's 200 people in here. That was a bad number. I don't do that kind of math. If there's 100 people in here, then and everyone gave me $1, that's 600 meals, and that's a big resource. And you get a lot of a lot of folks fed with just that small drop in the bucket there. 1 in 7 adults and 1 in 5 children suffer from food insecurity. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. We can take $1 and help bridge that gap. We do that through agencies and school pantries. We are in, I want to say 7 school pantries right now, 10 by the end of this year, and hopefully 14 by the end of the school year, to help bridge that gap of 1 in 5 children. 1 in 5 children, if you guys want to see me very upset and curse a lot, just talk to me about children that don't have enough food to get through the day. But I won't do it in here. Yeah, so if everyone gave me $100, that's great. We can do that. But I will say, if you don't have $100, you don't need to give me $1. Give me 2 hours. We have volunteer shifts every day of the week that are 2 hours long. Go there and sort food, pack food. You will feed 1,000 people in those 2 hours. And that's a huge number. That's a huge thing. We get kids who are there for school credit. For high school kids, we have, who need scholarships or whatnot. There's a lot of kids out there who need the volunteer hours. There are a lot of folks who need the volunteer hours because a judge told them they did. We'll take you as well. I admit all of you can go out and commit crimes tonight, and when you get busted, you can come see me on Monday, and we'll take care of those volunteer hours. But the 2 hours you spend, that's 1,000 people you can feed, and that's huge. That's a big deal. So if you have $1 million, you can come see me. I will write you a check, or I'll write you a receipt for your check. We'll figure that part out. But if you don't have $1 million and you only have $1 in 2 hours, that's important. And not just with Bread of the Mighty. We are in the middle of the nonprofit world in Gainesville. It's a very tight circle. We don't try to steal money from other companies or other nonprofits. We are all working for the same thing, a better community. So if you don't have 2 hours with me, go see Peaceful Paths. Go to Grace Marketplace. Go to the Ronald McDonald House or Food for Kids. Go somewhere and donate your time and your money, because that's what's going to make the world better. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch much news, and I know we're not talking about it right here in this hour, but it's not great. It's bad out there. And the way we're going to get through it is by focusing on the micro. We can't change the macro in here. We can't change the macro by ourselves. But we focus on the micro. We just look at our neighbors. We look at our community. We look at the people that we walk to every day. If you can make an impact there, the ripple effect will go. And that's what the Bread of the Mighty does every day. 25,000 pounds a day of food gets moved through our warehouse into the community. And it's a small thing, but it makes a huge impact. Because once you're fed, once you have the nutrients and you have the energy, then you can go off and do great things. You can go affect the macro. But it starts here. It starts here with the Bread of the Mighty. It starts here with this congregation, with this group, with this family here. So when you're donating your money at the end of the year, because we all saved $6 billion in taxes, because taxes don't exist anymore, which is great. Just tell the IRS you're a billionaire. They won't expect anything from you. But when you have that extra money, you can donate to the Bread of Mighty, and we can make a huge change. Donate to Food for Kids, and they can make a huge change. Grace Marketplace, any of these places. Your money is important. But if you don't have that money, come see me. I'll get you 2 hours of your time, and we'll make a difference that way. So thank you. I'll be in the Phillips Center after Phillips Center. Yep, I'm Philip. I'll be in my center shortly after this. So come and see me, and we can talk a little longer. Right? And I appreciate y'all letting me speak here today. Thank you.
And yes, Philip will be at a table in his hall. And all undesignated funds from today's collection will go to Bread of the Mighty. So if you're putting a check in the basket, make sure that you denote if you wanted to go for something else, because otherwise it'll go to Philip. So now the offering will now be generously given and gratefully received. I'm about to be either a hero or a bum. I'm not sure which, so hold on. Okay, guys. Since we are running much later than we anticipated, my choice is to go ahead and end the service, and then anyone who chooses to stay or come back for bits of the sermon, which is pre-recorded, it might be a little easier on your afternoon schedule. I see some nodding. Okay. So let's go next to the closing hymn. And then after that, we will extinguish the chalice. And then after that, we will have closing words and then the sermon. All right. So, hymn number 311, Let It Be a Dance. Please join as you are willing and able. Say, please, the chalice extinguishing words with me that are on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please repeat after me. It is a blessing I was born. It matters what I do. My experience of the divine is true. And I don't have to go it alone. Except for the sermon, the service has ended. Make your choices wisely.
Greetings. My name is Reverend Sunshine Jeremiah Wolf. I serve as the regional lead for the Pacific Western region of our Unitarian Universalist Association. I offer my greetings to you and thank you for welcoming me into your space today. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Of course, they have the curse that says, may you live in interesting times. And so we do, as so many generations before us have, and as many generations currently with us, and people living today do. We live in challenging times. We always live in challenging times, though perhaps now it feels even more overwhelming and more uncertain. Transformation is hard. Change is not a simple thing, and it is not something we certainly prefer. Many of us may relate to Pete in the story of Pete and Pickles by Berkeley Brevid. Pete is a pig who believes in having everything planned and organized in perfectly consistent ways. He's uncomplicated and he likes his life to be uncomplicated. And yet, he finds himself in a position where literally the elephant walks into the room and everything goes haywire. And how many times have we had that? We have our plans and our habits and we know what to expect, and then boom, something happens. For some of us, that's just a Tuesday. That has been how things have been since birth. And for others, it's something that shows up in their life now and again. This illusion of certainty, of uncomplicated lives that can be habitually planned, can make things very difficult. Change is hard. Even though it is something we live from birth till death, our bodies constantly changing and transforming and moving. Our relationships continually changing and transforming and moving. That illusion of solidity is something that can give many of us strength to carry on. But what happens when that's no longer an option? How do we live into times of change and transformation? Or if we have been living in those times, but the increased amount is just feeling like it's just too much to take. I certainly have those days myself. I appreciate the question that comes from Leah Lakshmi Peepsna-Samasarenha in her book, Care Work, Dreaming Disability Justice. And she's talking to activists who live as queer and Black and disabled and in experiences where it can just seem impossible just to get out of bed. She asks this question: what feels possible? What feels possible right now? We are not asked to fix everything. We cannot do it. We are not asked to be the answer to all things. No one of us can do that. All we can do is get up or do the next possible thing. Maybe it's not even getting out of bed. Maybe it's just lying there and relaxing into it. Maybe that's what feels possible. Or maybe it is getting out of bed or taking a shower, or maybe it's leaving the house. It could be, I can't take it anymore. I'm calling my legislator to say this cannot be. Maybe it is joining an organization of other folks who have plans for responding to the challenges that we wish to meet. Whatever it is, the what feels possible right now is not a consistent thing. It is not stable. It will change from day to day to moment to moment. What felt possible this morning may not feel possible this evening. What felt possible last week may not feel possible now. What feels possible right now? What allows us to do the next elegant thing? I live with chronic post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD, or complex CPTSD. And what that means for me is that sometimes I walk into a room and there's a ton of things to do, and I just get overwhelmed. I can't do it because there's too many things and all I can see is all of the things. And one of the ways that I've learned to manage that is to start with something simple. So if it's the dishes are running over in the sink and I just cannot imagine doing the dishes, I'll start with, what if I just put 5 dishes in the dishwasher? Or if it's the kitchen that's overwhelming, what if I just take out the trash and nothing else? What feels possible in that moment is not the whole thing. And if I look at the whole thing, it's too much. When I focus on a small possible task, it becomes manageable. And I feel that way about our challenges in our world and sometimes the challenges that our congregations deal with just in their own communities. If you look at the whole picture and try to solve it all at once, it can become impossible to respond. To make it bite size, what feels possible right now. The other piece that I think holds us in these times of change and transformation and moves us towards a place of celebration and joy is to remember that we are not meant to do it alone. We are meant to be in co-regulation with each other. In our story with Pete and Pickles, you can think of Pete as this person, this being that wants everything to be uncomplicated. And Pickles, who has been living in a circus and being oppressed, comes in and says, let's do something new together. And they do new things together because they co-regulate with each other. We are not meant to be isolated islands unto ourselves. Humans are wired for connection. As Brené Brown puts it, we are wired for connection. And if we are wired for connection, then that means that in addition to self-care, we need community care. We need to be able to be in relationship with communities that help us say yes to life and to each other. And in those communities, it can't always be about work. We are Unitarian Universalists, and that means in part we have inherited a religious notion that we are only worthy if we fight for justice and do hard things and strive and move and work. And that can be important, but it isn't the only thing. If we only gather people so that we can work hard and try and create something, where is the time for connection and joy and play? And don't get me wrong, there can be joy and play in organizing or creating worship or doing all kinds of things. And also, it is very important to have times when we're just celebrating. We are wired for connection, meant to co-regulate with our earth, with our communities, with our families, be they chosen or biological or both. We are wired for connection. And part of that connection needs to be that which helps us build resilience so that when we have to ask the question, what feels possible right now, things become possible. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. We are meant to be in community together. Your people are my people. My people are yours. And it does not mean we have to know everyone, but it does mean we need to be able to hold care for the people around us and know that those communities are part of my survival, your survival, our survival. We cannot do these things alone. We need to be co-regulating community to community, within communities and beyond. I appreciate the language of Paula Cole-Jones, who says we are in communities of communities, that even within a congregation, we may have multiple communities interacting with each other. Within neighborhoods, within states and societies, multiple communities. And those communities of communities need to be in relationship. We are all interconnected and co-regulating with each other. I find useful when thinking about how we co-regulate and how we hold the balance of all of the things that we know need to happen to help transform our world with the joy and wonder. I think of a ritual that we had in my school at Star King School for the Ministry. Reverend Dr. Rebecca Ann Parker introduced us to this ritual in weekly chapel. And it was to light a white candle, which in most cultures around the world is what you wear in times of death and grief, and a red candle to represent joy and wonder. And it was meant to hold the fact that we were in multiple wars at that time, as well as the fact that many wonderful and good things were happening. And we would light each candle, holding both of those things together at the same time. They don't need to be separated. They are even co-regulated between them. Hold together both the challenges, the struggles, the horrors, the pain, the loss, the sickness, with the laughter, the hope, the joy, the play. Those things go together. How do you each day light both candles, responding to the challenges and saying yes to the joy of the play? Joy itself is an act of resistance. It is an act of saying we are thriving and whole and holy, even as people may try and take our rights away, or we may be dealing with illness, or our agency may be challenged. We are authentic and whole in our joy. Joy is an act of resistance. And so as we conclude our time together, I want to consider what it means to say yes and bring joy to our congregations and communities. It means having game nights. It means having potluck gatherings where nothing else happens related to church work except being in community. There's no board work. There's no social justice stuff. There is literally just we are in community together. There's times of singing and laughter and dance and music and movement, time where children lead us in activities and youth guide us in their wisdom, and all of us hold holy the power of saying yes to wonder and hope. The song I've been singing throughout this sermon, Where You Go, I Will Go, is from Shoshana Jedwab. She is a Jewish musician, and she wrote this song. It's a zipper song, so you can fit different words into it. And the music is free and accessible and is sung in communities all around the world. And it's based on the book of Ruth. And in the book of Ruth, Ruth and Naomi find themselves in a situation where their husbands have died. And Ruth is older, and often what is culturally normal at that time is that Naomi would leave Ruth and go off and get married. But instead, Naomi says, where you go, I will go. And Ruth insists, go off, go find a husband, leave me be. The idea being that Ruth would eventually go back to her homeland and she may or may not live, but that Naomi would have a life. And Naomi refused to leave her side. And that act itself of a woman not going immediately to the protection of a man in a society that expected it was huge. And it was co-regulation and connection. And they traveled and journeyed together and found deeper and deeper ways of being loyal and caring to each other, and cared for each other even after they arrived and Naomi found a new husband. In that story, it's about how do we go through these struggles together? How do we not abandon each other in our time of uncertainty and trial? Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your my divine. May you find holiness and sacredness and joy and wonder. May you cause good trouble to all of the things that need to be challenged. And may you create comfort and healing and wholeness, so that each person, when they determine what feels possible right now, consider you a source of that possibility and not a hindrance. And may you find people in your life who give you that source of possibility and not hindrance. May we be the people we dream of, and may we have a whole lot of fun and silliness in our days. Give away stickers, share rubber ducks, throw stuffies across the room, bounce a beach ball, play basketball, do the silly things that say, yes, we are worthy and holy and more than enough to face the times ahead. Go in peace, love, and grace. Blessed be.